Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to On the Break. We have a good one coming to you. Hey, man, these playoffs have been great so far. I think the first round has been the best first round that we've had in NBA history, or at least that I can remember. And it's just continuing on into the second round. But first off, we're going to start off with the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston Celtics game, game one of the Eastern Conference semifinals for that series. And I think this was a great game. It came down to the wire. James Harden with his patented step back three to seal the game for the 76ers. And coming into the game, of course, Joel Embiid did not play with the knee sprain, and the Boston Celtics were pretty much expected to win. I mean, anytime you are down your best player in terms of the 76ers, you expect that other team to win, especially with the Boston Celtics being so deep and so talented, like everybody has said. But I'm just going to start there with the Boston Celtics because I think that this has been a pattern, especially in the playoffs, but even towards the end of the season, right before the end of the season, the Boston Celtics have struggled with um, consistency and what's the word I would say? An urgency, a sense of urgency, and sometimes they just don't show up and make good decisions down the stretch of games, even though they didn't have a statistically bad game. Um, this game in game one, I mean, Jason Tatum had 39 himself, 39 on 11. Shot 4 from 5 from the 3-point range. Jaylen Brown, 8 for 10 for the whole game, and 3 for 4 from 3-point range with the whole team. They shot 58 from the field, 58% from the field, and 38% from three. So in terms of statistics, they didn't have necessarily a bad game, but I think the sense of urgency and definitely turnovers. They had 16 turnovers for the game, and that is something that has killed them in the playoffs, especially even last year in the finals. Turnovers, not getting into your sets, not getting up shots. There was a play towards the end of the game, and they didn't even get up a shot. The shot clock ran out on them, and no, actually they turned the ball over. It was shot clock was running down. They made too many passes. Nobody got a shot up, and they ended up actually turning the ball over, which Tyrese Maxey is the one that stole the ball and had that wide open lane to the basket on a fast break. So they just struggle executing in late game situations, and also with a sense of urgency. We saw this in the first round in their matchup against the Atlanta Hawks. I think they should have closed that series out in way less games than it went, but they allowed that series to extend, and we see it again here when they drop a game they really should be winning, especially with Joel Embiid out. It's just a pattern that we're beginning to notice with the Boston Celtics. Sometimes they just don't have that sense of urgency to really take it to their opponents when they have an advantage, or they need to take advantage of certain situations. So that is something that we should keep an eye on down the line. How are the Boston Celtics going to bounce back from dropping game one, a game that they should have had? But moving on to the 76ers, I think that we should give James Harden his credit where it's due. I think, first off, this was a great team win by the 76ers. Of course, James Harden led the way with 45 points, but I think Tyrese Maxey with his 26 points, and of course, Tobias Harris with his 18 points, putting that in. Those three were really the drivers of the offense, and especially without Embiid there, you needed those guys to step up and really lead the way offensively to put points on the board and keep up with the Boston Celtics, which they did. They did a great job of that. But I also want to talk about DeAnthony Melton. I think he was a really great player coming off the bench. He had 17 himself. Uh, he shot very well from the field, 6 for 10 from the field, 5 for 6 from three. I think he's a really big key piece to this team. Even when he's not scoring, he does so many things. Playing defense, handling the basketball, making key passes. He just seems to always make he plays in big moments, and I think he played a great game tonight and really helped his team win. But just to focus back on James Harden, because James really led the way tonight. He really uh, put the team in very good situations, and he really took the bull by the horn and really put on a show. Honestly, of course, like I talked about his step back three to seal the game, but throughout the course of the game, you just saw him controlling the pace and controlling the game, especially offensively, and really getting to his spots, putting his teammates in great positions with his passing ability. I think he really showed why the Philadelphia 76ers traded for him last year to pair another star with Embiid. I know a lot of people have not been very pleased with James's playoff performances over the course of the year, over the years, but especially these past, or especially last year. With the 76ers, but many people did not think that James Harden would come out and have a game like this. So I think that you have to give him his respect where it's due. I think he is definitely capable of having these type of games, especially with Joel Embiid out. And the 76ers needed every single point, every single one of those 45 points that James had. And again, just giving him props where it's due. But this was a great overall win by the 76ers with your superstar out, with the MVP of the league out on your team. You everybody just stepped up and really played their role and got the team win. So big takeaways from here. This gives Joel Embiid the ability to rest a little more. I don't think he's going to play game two. I don't think he should play game two. The Sixers have already gotten a win on the road, and they have shown that you can actually trust them to get games on the road without their superstar. So I would not play Embiid. If I was Embiid, I would not want to play. Get him as much rest as possible so that he can be ready uh, throughout the rest of the playoffs. And I think the Sixers are going to try and go in and get game two. I think you have the Celtics in a very sticky situation and you don't want to let your foot off the gas. So if you can go get game two, go back to Philly, and Embiid possibly is going have Embiid possibly play that game three, I think you're sitting very pretty if you are the Philadelphia 76ers. For the Boston Celtics, they have to play with more of a sense of urgency. They seem to not keep their foot on the gas. They seem to have lapses, especially in big moments, big time possessions, key pivotal plays. Again, uh, they had to put up a shot with the shot clock winding down. They actually made too many passes. It didn't seem like anybody really wanted to shoot the ball that possession. Um, and they turn the ball over. Tyrese Maxey gets a steal, scores it on the fast break, which actually put them in the lead. And just plays like that, turnovers again, really don't help the Boston Celtics. It really kills their momentum, and it takes them out of their offensive flow, and it's something that they have to clean up. So I'm looking to see how well the Boston Celtics bounce back and how they will make certain adjustments not to turn the basketball over and to finish games, especially as the series goes on. So we'll see how that goes. Looking forward to game two, and we'll see who comes out and wins that game.